My name is Raymond Karchevsky, and I am a living Christ. Today I'm going to speak to you about truth. I'm going to reveal to you the energy of truth, the non-dualistic energy of what is that operates in the moment of now, which is perceived in the subconscious mind of living man, you. You see, you have two minds. First, get that in order. The divine mind, the God mind, the creative mind, is your subconscious mind. It is based in the energy of oneness, of non-duality. The other mind that you have is the satanically ruled intellect, which is the dualistic mind, which creates the world that you live in, the illusions that you mistake for truth. You worship the false images, the ideas of truth through concepts, ideas. These are programmed into you, indoctrinated into you by satanic authority symbols that are found in the normal region of education, public education, private education. These are all wielders of illusions, of storytellers. You are addicted to the time-bound stories that have a beginning, that have an end, and that have a message to it. You understand? That's how you are trained to listen, to learn. But what do you learn? You learn how to role play. You learn deception because you are playing at a role that you are pretending to be true. That is societal behavior, and that is the basis for all the hypocrisy that one finds themselves enmeshed in, because they don't know how to listen. They don't know how to pay attention. You see, to listen and to pay attention means to give attention. When one pays attention, they are listening to the what is as it unfolds in the eternal moment of now. Not in some story. You see, history is nothing more than a series of his stories. You understand? It's all satanic. So if you are a believer in history, and you can see what that has done, the kinds of false images that it has created. It has created as your present system of thought that you adhere to. And you adhere to it because you are expected to adhere to it by authority symbols, who are the storytellers. These are your teachers, your professors, your scientists. They are all caught in time. They are all based in concepts, illusions. And as such, they have no relationship to truth, to the what is. Because the what is must be set aside in order for you to listen to the story. and get the message of the story and play out that message in your life if you can. You mimic what you believe to be the message of the story. See? It's all false. It's all an illusion. And you call that civilized life. You missed the point. You've missed the truth, because the truth can only be found in the subconscious mind, the non-dualistic mind, which is beyond time and space. But that is not what you prefer. You have abandoned that tree of truth, of life, and you have adopted the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which is satanic. And that's what you worship. You worship the illusion. You worship Satan. You worship the Illuminati, the light bearers. These are all theories, understand? Because you were taught these theories in satanic school when you were a young age, in the formative years. And you are coerced into believing Sunday school, you see? They expect you to live according to the rules of the ideas that are based in the thought of truth. It is not truth. You are living an illusion. An illusion becomes your way of life. And look what that way of life has brought you. Do you understand? You are a victim of your own wanting. You cannot accept truth because truth is non-dualistic. It is what is. You want the idea of truth, the symbol of truth, the time-bound history of truth. Call it religions, call it political ideals, but they all have one thing in common. They separate you from others who have different ideas of political truth. You see millions and millions of people who flock to political conventions, and they are like watching the ants. Millions of living entities milling around. They've lost their identity. They've lost their ability to think, to take responsibility for themselves, and they demand that they be entertained, that their consciousness, like at a concert, be taken over by the entertainer. And they will shower that entertainer with their energy, if the entertainer would just entertain them. Now, Donald J. Trump is the president of these United States of America. Very rich man, accustomed to the comfort of the ease of having everything at his beck and call. One can say that's egotistical, and there's no question that the man has a tremendous ego. But he takes great pride in that. And he makes promises from the ego, not from the standpoint of truth, but from the standpoint of one who will create the illusion that is expected by his audience. And that is the truth, the idea of truth that he wields. Now, there's a question that, as far as politicians go, Donald J. Trump is a good man. I have no problem with that. You see, is he a Satanist? Yes. But you see, you're all Satanists if you live in your conscious intellect, because you're living in the land of duality, the land of illusion, the land of time-bound, memory-based political history. And you believe, you worship that history, you perpetuate that history. But you see, you forego your ability to create non-dualistically in your subconscious mind when you live in your entertained intellect. You become addicted to entertainment. And you find that it brings you the highs and the lows. When the highs are operating, you feel masterful. But it doesn't last long. Soon, that high begins to go to the low, and you are depressed. Oh, the system of government, the system of living, of societal living, is ready for that, because it then gives you a pill, and you accept that pill to regulate your highs and your low, your manic, your depressive abilities, your energies, because you can't control them. You don't know how to control them. What you want is stimulus so that you can respond. But you see, the stimulus that you look for may not be what you get, but you will respond to that stimulation, whether it be a high or whether it be a low. You are addicted, and you need pharmaceuticals, pills, marijuana, drugs, hard stuff to create a state of mind that is acceptable to such highs and lows of energy. And then your personal hell begins. You're lost. You look for help. You become dependent upon those pills, those narcotics, the alcohol, the drugs, in order to even you out. But you see, your state of mind is always unbalanced. You have no control. You are not calm. You don't know what you're going to be from one moment to the next. And that is what causes fear, fear of the unknown, fear of life. And that's, you see, is what I'm all about. For I am a man of truth. I am you. There is much that you don't understand about the spiritual way of life. You see, you are treated with mysticism. You are treated by people who tell you stories, impossible stories, myths, legends. And that becomes your way of being indoctrinated. And you believe them. You see how unbalanced you are? You have to be unbalanced. It's impossible for you not to be when you believe in such fantasies. For balance is what is. Truth is what is. And you are at one with truth, you are calm. From one moment to the next, as it changes, you free flow with that energy. and you are it. The I am that I am. Do you understand? That's what truth is. Now, I have been speaking now for 25 years. I have been attacked by damn near, well, by most of you. I'll say that. And you understand that most of you don't stand a chance, because I am the mirror of truth when I speak to you. And when you speak to me, looking into the mirror of truth, you are seeing yourselves. And you don't like what you see, because you have judged yourself according to the illusions that you hold in your memory base. And that doesn't match what you're seeing unfolding in relationship with this living Christ. Thus, you become insulted. You become angry because you have been exposed. You have seen yourself as others see you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. You understand? That is what happens when the ego, the dead after-moment-based, memory-based ego, sees itself, perhaps for the first time. Understand? That is the anger, the energy, conflict that is experienced in all of my relationships. Because I merely am the truth. I am the what is. I am the mirror. I am you. And when you look into this living Christ, you are looking into the mirror of truth. You see yourself as you've never seen yourself before. And it leaves you angry. And that's the nature of hell. That is your life. You want to live in a heaven of no obstacles, you see. What you're saying is that you want to live non-dualistically, but you can't, because you're addicted to the dualistic reactions that you project by your own thoughts, by your memory-based concepts and ideas that you have learned, which have been indoctrinated into you. All your life starts when you were a child, a toddler, preschool. It forms your personality, your ego. It's all based in time-bound intellectual ideas, the fairy tales, the beginning, the message, the end. And what have you learned by such stories that have been fed into you? You see. What have you learned in school when your mind, your intellectual mind, has been forcibly manipulated by teachers to create concepts that you must hold in your memory base? And you are tested. And according to the test, you are graded as to how much you have attained, attracted. What have you attracted? You've attracted dead ideas, ideas that are intractable. They become the standard for your life. And your life is hell. Because no matter what you think of, you are caught in its opposite. Because you're living in a dualistic split consciousness. Your intellect. No question about that. That's what rules you. You are an automaton, a robot. You believe. You don't see. You don't feel. You're not at one with the unfolding energy of truth, the holistic truth, the holy truth, the truth of oneness. You see, that's what truth is. Truth is what is. But you are addicted to the idea, the static remembrance, after moment remembrance of the what is that just passed by you. And you create it into a concept, an idea. And you worship that idea. That's a false God. You understand? Truth is what is. Truth is God. Truth is unfolding every moment beyond the apprehension of personages that are egotistical in their makeup. You understand? They are the holders of the beliefs, the concepts of truth. That is what happens when you send your child to school. When you have learned that yourself, but you don't know what you've learned, you take great pride in your ability to spew back reactions to stimuli that are fed into you by those who are testing you for your ability to destroy truth. For truth is what is. Not a damn thing you can do about it, except write it out and be at one with it and be whole with it. But you see, that is not the privy of the intellectual consciousness, the Satanic consciousness. That wants to hold the idea of perfection. You pretend, you become a liar. Because all pretensions are lies. It's the dualistic essence of what is and what should be, and the constant violence that exposes itself to your conscious intellect, where you are confused, and you must bring that confusion by making up your mind into a state of oneness, of understanding. It's almost impossible for that to happen with the intellectual mind, for that mind must stop. It must stop its dualistic split, divided attention, which leaves you confused and violent until you understand. But you see, you grasp the theory, the concept of understanding, which is another thought, one theory after another. Scientific fact is nothing but theories that are played out and accepted by people who do nothing more than follow others who do their thinking for them. And they believe as they are told. That is the average intellectual grasp of those who thrive in the academic environment, whether it be preschool, elementary, high school, college, university. You understand. It's all theory. It's all symbolism. It can't be truth. It has to be the dead after moment belief of that which is, that is programmed into you. Experts who thrive in technical excellence There's no question that they have a grasp of something that is not available to every living man or woman. But all experts are unbalanced academics. Unbalanced! They create that unbalance in themselves in order to be an expert. That is their reward in hell. But they find themselves in hell just as much as those who are absolutely ignorant of what is going on in hell. And that creates the boundaries of where one sits in hell. Whether they have power, for power is what you have in hell when you are systematically excellent in artificial thinking. These are your politicians. These are your priests. You understand? They thrive in the illusion of excellence. Professors. You understand? They've lost their humanity. They've sold their souls for a smidgen of excellence that they can lord over others. Understand? That's what you have when you worship science. Science is an illusion. The only thing that is true is love, is life, for it is non-dualistic. You understand? Non-dualism is the what is. That is the God, the creator of life in the moment of now. And every one of you have that ability, but you have lost it because you have given it up in return for being an intellectual. What has that intellectualism brought you? Are you happy? You don't know what happiness is. You strive for stimulation. You strive for the idea of happiness. But that doesn't last long because that's based in dualism. And soon the opposite, the pain of depression, sets in. And you become sad. Uncontrollably sad. That's life for most of you. That's life in hell. You see, because you're programmed automatons. And you have no control over that program. You are being manipulated by those who control your minds, the Satanists, who control your minds like they control computers. You're at the mercy of such satanic mind controllers. I come along, I break the mold. I am beyond all such intellectual manipulation. They cannot make me doubt myself, although that has been the battle that I have experienced all of my life in holding to my truth, holding to what is. I first understood who I am at the age of 5. It didn't fit in. What does a 5-year-old know about anything of life? A great deal. However, the mechanism, the spiritual or the physical mechanism is not yet ready to express such understanding as the non-dualistic what is. You understand? That comes from the experiences of life. And life attacks that all the time. And you must experience those attacks. Those are the tests. Those are the trials, the tribulations that you go through. You don't understand these things yet. But life begins to mold you, your character, your ability to withstand pressure. Most of you don't make it. You live a life of deception from birth to death. But you see, that's just an illusion because it has a beginning and it has an end. You, in fact, are immortal. You have no beginning. You have no end in your non-dualistic mind. You are the God of your own dualistic life, the creator of the quality of your life, the symbolisms. You've got to understand that. Those are the illusions that I speak of. And most of you aren't able to grasp the subtlety of that. Because all you know is your action response, stimulus response, reward and punishment. That's called training. That's called indoctrination. And that's what you thrive in. You look at yourself, you compare yourself with others based in that satanic, fictitious world, the world of thought, of ideas. All such ideas are fictions. Government, the government that you create is a fiction. It's only a thought in your mind. Do you understand? It has no reality outside of your mind. Religion is a fiction because it too is a thought in your mind and has no reality outside that mind. That's the simplicity of what I talk about. But you don't grasp it because you somehow run up against the wall that prevents you from grasping the energy that is beyond your wall. And thus you cannot experience it. You cannot resonate with it. And you don't believe it. Therefore, you remain at odds with that which I speak. That's your hell. I speak of the second coming of Christ consciousness. That, in fact, is the energy, the non-dualistic energy of the grasp of what is that unfolds in the eternal moment of now, that is beyond time. Until you can shake yourself loose from your after-moment-based, memory-based ideations that you hold. Those are your ideas of life as you know it. That's an illusion, but you don't know it. You believe that illusion to be your truth. And you will sacrifice your life. You will commit suicide when you are depressed enough and cannot rise above your depression. You experience the intellectual solution to ending the pain, and that is suicide or homicide. To those who do not wish harm to others, They take the suicide route. They kill themselves to end the pain, the suffering, the confusion that have eluded them. The promise of understanding that has been given them, the solution to their problems, eludes them. And because they cannot break loose from their habitual understanding of conceptual ideas that they believe to be truth, they commit suicide to end the pain, to end the suffering. You're experiencing that more and more in this world of ours through the military men and women who come back from foreign wars. They've seen the horribleness of what is done in the name of war, the name of societal protection. They're not happy with themselves for what they have done, what they have been caused to do by those who control their minds, the Satanists, that send them to war for political reasons, for corporate profit. They're manipulated. And they feel duped, and well, they should. That's the depression that haunts our returning veterans, that creates such a problem with them that they commit suicide. It's time that we awaken. That's what I'm here for, to bring you to that point of truth, of oneness within yourself, in your subconscious mind. And when that happens, you will understand me like you will understand yourself at one with truth. And your life will change. That's the second coming of Christ consciousness that I speak about. It is not something that can be given to you. You must be ready to accept that oneness, the ending of the totality of dualistic thought that leaves you in a confused state of mind, and you end the intellect. And when that intellect is ended, you step into meditation. You step into the oneness of meditation, the non-dualistic realm of truth. That is your salvation. That is what I bring to you. Oh, you don't understand it. But the reason you don't understand it is because you still are caught by your intellectual, dualistic mind, the mind of an automaton, the mind of a living, dead zombie. That's what you are as long as you're living in your intellect. And you have been schooled all your lives to live in that intellect. And you step into jobs that personify that rhetoric, that belief-ridden intellect. And you seek power. You become a lawyer. You become a judge. And it gives you power. But you're in hell. There's no question about that. If you're honest with yourself, it doesn't matter what realms you've reached, what heights you've reached. You're still in hell, and therefore you're limited. You see. The only unlimitedness is found in the subconscious mind, the mind of non-duality. And that is what is promised you by this living Christ. you can see that I am not a rich man. Look at the surroundings that I'm speaking to you from. However, I have everything that I need in order to function in life. I have all my needs are met. I have all the money that I need. I have what you cannot have because you're striving to attain all these things when you realize that they are all superfluous and they have no power over you. That's when you are free. That's when you are one. That's when you are a Christ. Because you are a simple man or a woman of truth. And you have attained the infinite, the indescribable energy of what is, that is the solution to all problems. I hope that I have not confused you further. Because confusion is your natural state of mind if you live in your intellect. I'm saying to you that you must understand your intellect. And the only way you can do that is to stop the noise, the chattering, and become at one with what is unfolding in the moment of truth, in your subconscious mind. That is called understanding. Thank you for your time.